Welcome to Latodio, where it's book in minutes, insights for life. Today, we're discussing The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin, a book that's more than just a self-help guide. It's a blueprint for transforming your everyday life into a happier, more meaningful experience. In a world where we're constantly chasing the next big thing, Rubin reminds us that happiness isn't found in grand achievements or far-off dreams. It's in the small, intentional choices we make every day. Now, why is this book so relevant today? Well, with our lives becoming increasingly fast-paced and demanding, many of us find ourselves wondering, is this all there is? The Happiness Project addresses that feeling head-on by showing us that joy can be cultivated through simple, actionable changes. Rubin's approach is practical and relatable, offering insights that can reshape how we view work, relationships, and even those mundane daily tasks. Here's what you can expect in this episode. First, we'll introduce The Happiness Project, diving into what inspired Rubin to embark on her year-long pursuit of happiness. Next, we'll walk you through each chapter, exploring the unique theme Rubin tackled every month, from boosting energy and nurturing relationships to finding joy in passions and practicing gratitude. Finally, we'll wrap up with key takeaways, practical lessons you can apply right away to start your own happiness project, no matter where you are in life. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to discover how the Happiness Project can help you unlock a happier, more fulfilling life, one small step at a time. Let's get started. The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin is an inspiring journey into one woman's quest for greater happiness and fulfillment in her everyday life. Rubin, a lawyer-turned-writer, found herself wondering if she could bring more joy into her life without making drastic changes. This curiosity sparked a year-long personal experiment. Every month, she would tackle a different area of her life, energy, relationships, work, and mindfulness, to uncover what truly brings happiness. The book dives into themes of intentionality, self-care, and gratitude. Rather than proposing radical changes, Rubin explores how small, mindful adjustments can lead to profound happiness. She combines insights from philosophy, psychology, and her personal experiences, blending research and storytelling to offer practical advice readers can apply in their own lives. The Happiness Project has resonated with millions of readers worldwide, sparking a movement of people committed to crafting their own paths to happiness. Rubin's journey is relatable, showing that anyone can find more happiness by consciously making space for it in everyday routines. This book reminds us that happiness isn't about waiting for big milestones or life changes. It's about finding joy in the ordinary and valuing the present. Chapter 1. January, Boost Energy. Rubin starts her Happiness Project with a focus on energy. Her idea is that if she's more energized, she'll be better equipped to handle everything else in her life. She explores how exercise, sleep, and decluttering can impact our physical and mental energy. One story that stands out is her decision to tackle small annoyances like her cluttered closet. This isn't a typical life-changing move, but she finds that clearing her physical space helps her feel refreshed. Key takeaway? Sometimes happiness begins with getting rid of the small, nagging tasks that drain us. Chapter 2. February, Remember Love. February is all about relationships. Rubin's goal here is to strengthen her marriage and create a happier family environment. She emphasizes the importance of showing love, not just feeling it. For example, Rubin learns to quit nagging, which is a big one for many people. She shares a funny yet insightful story about how she worked to improve her interactions with her husband, realizing that simple actions like listening without interrupting can deepen her connection. It's a reminder that love isn't just a feeling, it's something you actively do every day. Chapter 3. March, Aim Higher. Now, Rubin dives into work and pursuing passion. This chapter is full of insights on how personal growth and challenging oneself can boost happiness. Rubin sets specific goals, like writing every day, and finds that striving for something meaningful, even when it's hard, gives her a sense of purpose. The stories here reflect her journey as a writer, with all its ups and downs, and they're very encouraging for anyone wanting to pursue a goal or passion project. Her main lesson here? Happiness isn't just about achieving goals but finding joy in the pursuit itself. Chapter 4. April, Lighten Up. In April, Rubin focuses on parenthood, but the lessons here apply to all relationships. She realizes that to be a happier parent, she needs to lighten up, meaning she shouldn't take everything so seriously or be too quick to correct her kids. This month, she experiments with being more playful, laughing more, and letting go of perfectionism. One story she shares is about being open to the silly side of parenting, like letting her kids make messes during creative play. This chapter is a lovely reminder that joy often comes from letting go and being present. Chapter 5. Be serious about play. Here, Rubin explores the idea of fun and how to embrace leisure and hobbies. She realizes that as adults, we often forget to make time for play, but having hobbies is essential to our happiness. Rubin reflects on her love for reading and sets aside dedicated time for this. This chapter encourages us to think about our own interests and rediscover forgotten passions. Her story about picking up childhood favorites, like books and simple crafts, is a great reminder that fun doesn't have to be extravagant, it can be found in everyday joys. Chapter 6, June, Make Time for Friends. June is all about friendships. Rubin digs into the importance of maintaining strong social connections and nurturing friendships. She shares a story about reaching out to old friends and planning regular dates with them to keep those bonds strong. A big concept here is her idea of showing up. Sometimes, just being there for others is the key to sustaining relationships. The lesson is simple but profound. Friendships take effort, but they're one of the richest sources of happiness. Chapter 7, July, Buy Some Happiness. In July, Rubin investigates the link between money and happiness. Her main point is that money can buy happiness, but only if it's spent wisely. She experiments with spending on things that genuinely bring her joy, like organizing her home and buying things that support her values. One key story is her realization that spending on experiences, like family trips, makes her happier than buying material things. The takeaway? Money spent in alignment with your values and on experiences or things that truly add value to your life can boost your happiness. Chapter 8, August, Contemplate the Heavens. This month, Rubin reflects on spirituality and mindfulness. She decides to cultivate a sense of gratitude, read more deeply, and find ways to connect with something bigger than herself. Rubin shares stories of trying different ways to incorporate mindfulness into her life, from keeping a gratitude journal to practicing kindness. Her journey is very down to earth, showing that spirituality doesn't have to mean grand rituals. It's about finding little ways to remind yourself of life's larger purpose. Chapter 9, September, Pursue a Passion. In September, Rubin decides to go all in on a passion project. For her, this means dedicating time to writing, which she loves but often struggles to make time for. She sets aside specific blocks of time to write and discovers the joy of immersing herself in something she truly cares about. One lesson here is that you don't need to pursue passion full-time to feel fulfilled. Just making it a part of your routine can be enough to boost happiness. Chapter 10, October, Pay Attention. October focuses on mindfulness and savoring the moment. Rubin learns that being present can significantly enhance happiness. One strategy she tries is to use reminders throughout the day to pause and appreciate the moment. Her story about savoring her children's bedtime routine rather than rushing through it is particularly touching. Rubin reminds us that our everyday routines hold little treasures, but we have to be mindful to see them. Chapter 11, November, Keep a Contented Heart. November's theme is gratitude. Rubin emphasizes how a shift in mindset, focusing on gratitude, can change our entire outlook. She practices thanking others, both aloud and in writing, and finds that it deepens her connections with those around her. Her stories about small acts of appreciation, like writing thank you notes, reveal how even tiny expressions of gratitude can elevate happiness. Chapter 12, December, Boot Camp Perfect. In December, Rubin reviews her progress and ties everything together. She revisits each month's focus, applying what she's learned throughout the year. This chapter is a wrap-up that reinforces the book's main idea. Happiness isn't a grand destination but a series of small, intentional steps that shape a fulfilling life. Rubin reflects on her transformation, realizing that happiness isn't about perfection but about progress and self-compassion. Here's a rundown of the main takeaways from the Happiness Project. 1. Start small to build energy. Gretchen Rubin shows that sometimes the first step to happiness is tackling small but bothersome tasks that drain your energy. For instance, she started by clearing clutter in her home, which lifted her spirits and motivated her for bigger changes. It's like when you finally clean out that messy drawer, you feel an instant lift. So, whether it's decluttering a space, sticking to a bedtime, or exercising a bit more, small changes can create a ripple effect on your mood and motivation. 2. Nurture relationships with simple actions. Rubin's focus on relationships was a reminder that love isn't just a feeling, it's something we actively nurture. She practiced showing love in little ways, like listening without interrupting and avoiding nagging. A takeaway here? Just listening or spending a few undistracted minutes with loved ones can deepen bonds. For instance, rather than pushing a friend for updates, ask them how they're doing and genuinely listen. Small gestures go a long way in making people feel valued. 3. Find joy in the pursuit, not just the goal. Rubin tackled her passions by setting daily goals that made her feel productive and fulfilled. She found that while achieving goals feels good, happiness often lies in the day-to-day journey, like the satisfaction of writing a little each day rather than aiming for perfection. It's a reminder to focus on progress over perfection. Whether you're learning a new skill, working on a project, or building a habit, enjoy the little wins along the way. They're what make the journey rewarding. 4. Lighten up and embrace playfulness. One of Rubin's big discoveries was that loosening up and allowing herself to laugh more created a happier home environment. Her tip? Don't take everything so seriously. For parents, it might mean letting go of minor messes if it brings joy to your kids. For others, it could mean allowing yourself to goof around with friends or indulge in something silly once in a while. Life isn't only about goals. Sometimes, happiness is found in laughter and letting loose. 5. Prioritize what truly makes you happy. In her exploration of spending money wisely, Rubin realized that investing in experiences or things that align with her values made her happiest. It's a reminder that money can bring happiness, but only when spent intentionally. For instance, rather than splurging on impulse buys, maybe treat yourself to a concert, a class, or even an organizing tool that simplifies your life. Money spent this way can bring lasting satisfaction and memories. 6. Make time for friendships. Rubin highlights that friendships take effort and aren't just about texting or liking a friend's post. She emphasizes showing up, making plans, and reaching out. It's a simple but powerful lesson. Relationships deepen when we prioritize them. Try setting up regular get-togethers, video calls, or just a coffee with an old friend. Those moments help keep friendships alive and remind us that we're all in it together. 7. Practice mindfulness and gratitude. Rubin's experience with mindfulness taught her that happiness often hides in the present moment. She learned to savor small routines, like her kids' bedtime stories, instead of rushing through them. Practicing gratitude, whether through a journal or simply saying, "Thank you," can shift your mindset. Just taking a moment each day to recognize a few good things can help you appreciate life more deeply. 8. Pursue passions for their own sake. Pursuing a passion doesn't always have to be a side hustle or grand ambition. Rubin reminds us that making time for things we love, even if it's just a hobby, fuels our happiness. So if you love baking, painting, writing, or gardening, carve out time for it without worrying about productivity. Hobbies bring joy and can be a source of deep satisfaction. 9. Enjoy life's simple pleasures. Rubin's journey shows that happiness isn't always about big changes or achievements. Sometimes it's in the little things, like a cozy night with a good book, a warm cup of tea, or a walk in nature. It's about slowing down and being present. Remember to find joy in these small, everyday moments. They're easy to miss, but they often hold the most happiness. 10. Progress over perfection. By the end of her year-long project, Rubin learned that happiness isn't about becoming someone entirely different or reaching some state of perfection. It's about making small improvements and being kind to yourself along the way. So, if you're pursuing happiness, remember it's okay to stumble and take things one step at a time. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. Each of these takeaways from the Happiness Project shows that happiness is often within reach, but it takes conscious effort and an openness to change. Rubin's approach reminds us that by making simple, intentional changes in our lives, we can find more joy and fulfillment right where we are. Thanks for listening to this episode of Litodio. We hope you enjoyed exploring today's book with us. If you're craving more insightful summaries and want to stay inspired, be sure to hit the follow button and subscribe wherever you're listening. We release fresh episodes regularly, so join us next time as we explore another impactful read. We'll link to the book in the description. Until next time, keep listening, learning, and growing with Litodio.